Good evening, everybody. It's Charlie, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. It's time for your Chelsea preview ahead of the game at Ellen Road tomorrow night. God, I mean, I always try and think, in a game where Leeds need this, in a game where Leeds need that, but let's be honest, people, we need points, and we need them ASAP. It could be a very good indicator tomorrow night as to how the league's going to look in 3 games' time. Leeds United currently sit in the relegation zone on goal difference behind Burnley. Obviously, Burnley don't play tomorrow night, but Everton do. They're away at Watford, who are already down. Watford, who are dreadful at home, and Everton, who, apart from Leicester on Sunday, are awful away from home. You would fancy Everton in that game, so I think Everton are out of it now. It's definitely between us and Burnley. Us and Burnley have both got tough fixtures in the last 3, and if it goes down to the last game, we go down on goal difference, don't we? So I don't want to depress people at the start of this video, but just before I get into it, smash that like button. Please subscribe and share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and go check out the membership on Chatting Leeds. If you haven't already, then what are you doing? Go check it out. It's £1.99 a month. It's so cheap, and you'll see all the perks that come along with that. So hopefully you can do that if you can. So then, Chelsea. God. And I'm trying to think of something tactical that I can really go into, but is there any point at the minute? I think these last 3 games are not going to be down to who's got the best tactics, who's got the best players, because you could argue that certainly Chelsea have got better players than us. Brighton, yeah, they probably have as well, and Brentford are probably on our level, but Brentford are just in really good form. These last 3 games are going to be about character, fight, desire, playing for the badge and the fans. And whatever happens, whether we stay up or go down, all I want to see is 100% effort from every one of those players that steps out on the field. Obviously, Luke Ayling is out for the season now after his stupidity at the Emirates on Sunday. I was saying on Sunday that it's unforgivable. I think I was just saying that in the heat of the moment to my dad. But having thought about it, it still was stupid. And I don't know what he was thinking. But if we go down, it's not going to be due to Luke Ayling's red card. It's a number of things. We've touched upon it already. The board, Bielsa's stubbornness towards adaptation, pragmatism. Did he say no to these signings in the summer window and the January window? Was it the board not willing to spend money? Who knows? We will never know. It might get said one day, but for the near future, we will never know, people. Let's just be honest. So all the speculation and everything is just pointless. We need to live in the moment and the here and now, and we have got a massive, massive fight on our hands. 3 more cup finals, and the first being against the current champions of Europe, Chelsea, a team that we did go toe-to-toe with under Marcelo Bielsa at Stamford Bridge in December. Chelsea getting a very, very suspicious penalty, which for me wasn't a penalty. I'll still stand by that to this day. That was not a penalty. But they won the game 3-2. I felt we competed well in that game. And like I say, it was just a stupid refereeing decision. And a VAR decision actually that cost us that game. We at least deserved a point in that game. I don't think either team deserved to win. It was a fairly even contest. And I'm hoping for something similar tomorrow, if I'm honest with you. I don't think we'll win this game. If we do, buzzing. I really hope that they prove me wrong. I would happily be proven wrong and hold my hands up in that scenario. But let's be honest, can anyone really see us beating Chelsea? You know, yes, Chelsea are in bad form. Yes, Everton beat Chelsea. Yes, they did bottle a 2-0 lead at home against Wolves at the weekend. But there's still something about this game, you know. And yes, Chelsea have got the FA Cup final on Saturday, but it's still a big rivalry, Leeds and Chelsea. They will still be able to field a very good team. But you know, Ellen Road, under the lights, Wednesday night, midweek. You never know. You never know, people, do you? I think a point could be so huge. So huge. I'm not even worrying about Everton now. Everton are out of it for me. They'll beat Watford. I'll be very surprised if they don't beat Watford, if I'm honest. But if we can get a point, you know, Burnley's last three fixtures, Spurs away. Now I know anything can happen, but you would say that's a Spurs win. Aston Villa away, who have just beaten them 3-1 at home. Villa are fairly good at home. You'd say that's a no, I'm saying it. That is a Villa win for me. That has to be a Villa win. Um, the one that I'm a bit undecided on is their last game. So they've got Newcastle at home on the final day. Newcastle will either approach that game either that they're on the beach and it doesn't really matter, or they will want to finish the season on a high. There's a lot of players in that team that are fighting for their place in next season's squad because they're going to have a huge summer. Um, so they might have some points to prove in that squad. That's what I'm hoping anyway, because you know if we can get a point at Chelsea and then Burnley's results go our way, even if we don't pick anything up against Brighton and Brentford, you know, we'll stay up by a point, by the skin of his teeth. But it's also quite conceivable that we we lose all our three and they lose all our three. You know, it is what it is. I have just gone on a bit of a tangent there, so we'll get back to this game in particular against Chelsea. As I said, yes, they've got the FA Cup final on Saturday. Yes, they've bottled a 2-0 lead at home. And yes, they're in poor form. Obviously, Everton beat them as well, annoyingly. But Chelsea have got a really good team. They're not quite Man City's level where they can bring in, you know, elite players, but they have got a good squad at the same time. You're probably going to see the likes of Chalobah, Sarr, um, probably Loftus-Cheek. I was going to say Barkley, but I don't know if they'll go that week. I don't know. Probably Hudson-Odoi, I would have thought. Ziyech. You know, so they are really good players. But what I'm hoping for is that one, we get a performance because that in the first half against Arsenal was not a performance. We didn't show up at all. Um, the crowd need to be bang behind them. Like I've seen loads of negativity, understandably, on Twitter. I was negative on Sunday. You know, I was saying that's it, we're down. I must admit, I kind of am of the mentality now that I'm thinking that we're probably gonna go down, but if we stay up, then I will be happy and I will be more elated. I just I feel like if I hope too much and I talk myself round and think, yeah, you know, we've got enough, then I'll be more devastated. come that Brentford game or the Brighton game even on Sunday. So it is what it is. Rafinha needs to really show up and stop getting in hissy fits like he did yesterday, because I don't know why he was moaning, because it was a blatant red card for Ayling. Sorry, not yesterday. What am I talking about? Sunday. God, I'm losing track of my days here. Yeah, he needs to be bang on it. You know, I've seen people calling for Lewis Bate. I thought Bate looked decent when he come on yesterday. So yeah, I would happily play him over Matthias Click, who was woeful, absolutely woeful. Phillips needs to pull his finger out as well, because since he's come back, he has looked really rusty. But we can't afford for people to be rusty right now. Yes, he isn't a striker, but you know he's integral in that midfield. We need him to be bang on it. And yeah, I hope he goes with Gellart again, because he didn't get a fair shot against Arsenal on Sunday. And you know he did score at Stamford Bridge, so you know there's that to it as well. But we just need to grow a pair and just take risks, you know, because we've in a way we've got, when I say we've got nothing to lose, we have, obviously, because it isn't over. It isn't. You would think by the reaction yesterday that sorry, not yesterday. God, Sunday. You would think that Leeds are down now, and we're not. It's goal difference at the minute. Burnley are still banging this fight. Everton are on. You know, they've got Watford tomorrow night. You know, could Watford, you know, just play with freedom now? They're already down. They don't really care. Maybe they'll go at Everton and give them a game. Who knows? It's the unknown that annoys me. But this game is going to be tough. It's going to be a really, really tough fixture. Um, but we have to take confidence from the fact that they're in really poor form. Let's hope we take advantage of that. They've got the FA Cup, and I know I've kind of said that doesn't really mean anything, but I'm just clutching at straws. I'm just trying to stay as positive as I can. It's really difficult at the minute. It's looking really bleak. But we need to be able to try and beat Chelsea's press. I think Chelsea will press us from the off. And I thought what we struggled with against Arsenal was beating that press. And it feels like the easy option at this minute is just to pass it back to Melier. But if we're going to pass it back to him, can we make sure like there's no speedy forwards right up his arse this time? At least Ayling won't be playing. That's another thing as well. What is our back four going to be? What is the back four going to be? I've seen people say that Dan James should go right back, and I would get right on board with that, because I thought he played all right there yesterday when he moved over to right. He's quick. He can defend as well. His abilities as a defender are massively underrated. I'm not saying he's a world class fullback, but he can do a job 100%. And if we have to use him there for the last 3 games, so be it. You know, Harrison as well. He needs to pull his finger out as well. They all do. Let's be honest here. And the man who I slag off all the time actually scored against Arsenal, Diego Llorente. I didn't think he was that bad, really, in fairness to him. But we massively missed Cooper in that game. You can just tell when Cooper's not in that team. There's no leader, there's no voice on that pitch. Like now, Ayling's suspended, and Cooper, who knows if Cooper's going to play tomorrow? Hopefully he does. But if not, you'd imagine that Phillips will be captain. Now, as amazing a player as Calvin Phillips is he a voice on that pitch? Can you imagine Phillips in dressing room giving it to everyone? I can't. I'll be honest, I can't. Seems like too much of a nice lad to say it how it is. I hope I'm wrong. I hope If he is captain tomorrow, if the Coops is out as well, that he shows a bit of authority. He's a Leeds lad. He knows what it means to the fans, and I hope he tells them that in the dressing room tomorrow. Because whatever happens in these last three games, I want to see fight, and I want to see that these players give a crap. That's all I want to see: fight, desire, hunger, intensity. Let's get in Chelsea's face right from that first whistle. Get right at them. You know, make them on edge, make them nervy, and that's all we can hope for. I would have loved to have gone more in depth about the tactical side of things, but I feel like it's fairly simple. We need to avoid defeat if we can. And I've seen loads of people on Twitter slagging off Jesse Marsh. I can completely understand the criticism. I can. The football is not as great as the great days under Bielsa, and I can hold my hands up and admit that. However, what I have a problem with is that everyone is blaming him for the position that we are in. Jesse Marsh, come the end of the season, will have managed, I think it's 12 or 13 games. Bielsa and his tactics and his lack of ability to pragmatise, and the board and Bielsa, whoever it was, about signings, whether it was the board or Bielsa, that is why we're in the position that we're in, not because of Jesse Marsh. And again, people might not like the style of football. I'll be honest, I don't. But and by the way, I aren't saying this will happen, but if this style of football gets us 9 points out of a possible nine in these next three, and we stay up, who's gonna give a shit? And I'm just gonna say it like that. I'm sorry, but who gives a shit? I don't. If it keeps us up, I do not care a rat's ass how we do it. I don't care if we SHIT house a result in all three games if it keeps us up. We need to judge Marsh properly next season. No matter what league we're in, whether it's Premier League or Championship, we judge Jesse Marsh next season. And I will hold my hands up if we play like we are now next season, regardless of what league we're in, then yeah, I will be annoyed at Jesse Marsh and I will have criticism. But this is Bielsa's squad that is inherited here. Whether you agree with the decision that was made or not, a decision was made, probably too late, in my opinion. If we're going to make the decision, make it in January, let him have a transfer window, bring in players that actually fit the system that he wants to play, and then we could have maybe judged him more. But I actually retweeted someone's tweet earlier, and I just found it bizarre. Um, uh, was it earlier? No, yesterday. And like I said, it was just bizarre. This guy tweeted saying that he would rather us get relegated with Bielsa than Marsh. And I just read it and I was like, oh my God, give your head a wobble. Like, get in the bin if you're saying stuff like that. Because what's the expectation then? Like, what? Like, I get the style of play isn't great, like I've just said. I get it. But in both those scenarios, we're still relegated. So you're saying you're happy to be relegated with Bielsa, but you're not with Marsh. We're still relegated in both scenarios. I just found it so bizarre. Like, is that how low the expectations gone now? That you would rather have I firmly believe, and I am just gonna put this out there, people will probably disagree with me, and that's fine. If Bielsa was still in charge, I think we'd already be down now. I think it would be decided now and we would be relegated. That's just my opinion. I felt like after that Tottenham game, the players' confidence was on the floor. I didn't see where any points were coming from. And then when Marsh came in that first game against Leicester, yes, we lost, but I was encouraged by what I saw. The Aston Villa game, won't even talk about that. That was just awful. But other than that, we have played some good stuff. It's just not been consistent enough. I think, the Wolves game was mad. The Palace game was just scrappy from both sides. City was City. I'm not even acknowledging that. And yes, the Arsenal game was not great, but I just think he's getting unfairly criticised at the minute. But again, I can understand people's frustrations. I just think we're judging him a bit too quickly. Um, but yeah, this was supposed to be a Chelsea preview, but we've gone on a few tangents. My score prediction for the Chelsea game. See, this is tough because, God's sake. I'm going to go 2-2 again. I don't think we'll win, but I don't want us to avoid defeat. And because I don't want to say that we'll lose for my own sanity, I'm going to say a draw, 2-2. So yeah, that has been my match preview, my rant, my whatever you want to call this video, guys. I have spoke about a few different things, and I hope you've enjoyed it. But as I said the other day, this video is my last video at my parents' house as I move house on Thursday. So I'll try and get a review out at some point. But obviously, I move the day after the game. So I'm probably going to be hella busy for the next few days. I'll try my absolute best to get a Brighton preview out. But my internet gets installed at the new house on Monday. So you'll definitely be having content next week, but I will keep you posted on that. Smash a like, please subscribe if you're brand new, share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.